at one of the meetings making a request that there be some sort of continuity with the principals as it relates to suspension, if anybody remembers that. Because students were getting suspended for throwing food 5 days in one school, 2 days in another school, a day and a half in another school. I'm asking if anything has ever been done to create some sort of standards for the level of punitive action that's been given to students as it relates to the actual action of the student when it's being done across the board with the various different principles. That has never been brought back, but I hear everyone asking again about suspension, and there needs to be some continuity, because one school will give 5 days for one thing, 2 days for the same thing, 1 day for another. So when we're looking at suspension now, we have to look at the cause of the reason for the suspension, the grade level of suspension, and in fact, if there's any continuity across the board throughout the district on what determined what qualified for suspension. So I'd just like to know, and I'm asking the superintendent, if in fact that has been done, and if it hasn't been done, will he try to find some way to get some sort of even ground for what is determined as a level of suspension for our students?
Through the chair.
Dr. Epps.
I want you to know that we have done something about that, and Franklin Walker can really inform. Franklin, could you just tell them what we've done with that?
I love you, but you didn't tell me.
Maybe we did.
You
But
didn't
it's
tell
been
me.
done.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Mrs. Mack?
Chair, I would actually like
Franklin's gonna-
Oh, okay.
Yes, through the chair, we have identified just about every area based on a student code of conduct that a student, if they violate, there is a specific number of days that the student should be suspended. As a matter of fact, in most cases, there is a range. And the reason for the range is because if students continue to misbehave or in violation, for example, the first offense might require throwing food 1 day. But if in fact the student's been involved in other violations and then they throw food, then it could be 2 days. So there is a listing actually on the suspension report as to the number of days that are prescribed based upon every incident. Right, it is not. Yeah.
And could you give me that in writing, please? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Mr. Mack, and then, Mr. Mack.